Whoa. What's that? That's a Peavey Supreme and the Line 6 HD147. Let's do this. What we're gonna do today is we're actually gonna go through this Peavey Supreme. It's a Transtube, so as they tried to mimic the tube in a solid state. And then we're also going to compare the Line 6 HD147. Alright, so what I got set up here is I have the Delisle amp selector, so we can switch between these two seamlessly and just go through each of the tones and see which one sounds better. But we're also going to do a review of each of these amps, but I thought it'd be good to have a reference point between a solid state. Well, I guess they're both solid states, aren't they? We're going to do one that's a digital. This came out in 2003, and I think this was in the 90s, to tell you the truth. Might have to check the facts on that. All right, so what we have here is we have the Peavey Supreme at noon all the way across the board here. Actually, let me go ahead. And the Line 6 HD147 actually defaults to noon for everything whenever you select a new amp. What's cool about the Line 6 is that you can actually select a different cab as well as amp. So you can kind of combine those two and find your tone, you know, out of these guys. You know, for it being a 2003 kind of amp, it does remind me of back when I was in high school and stuff. I think 2003 is actually when I graduated high school. Aging myself there. What we're going to do first is we're going to go ahead, find on this Line 6 what is actually going to work for us. So we'll go through some of these settings here, and you know, they vary. So let's give this a shot here. So the Line 6 is actually on the Delisle here. So let's see what this sounds like. Right now it's on the Line 6 Crunch. I've actually played with this a little bit before, and I found that this one was my favorite out of all the settings that are on here. And we'll go through and actually see what it sounds like with the other distorted amp models here. So right now we're on the red Crunch. Now we're on the good old Insane. Keep in mind, I do actually have the gate on the Line 6, so it is cutting it, and it's actually really good because it doesn't absolutely kill your feedback. It does kind of taper off very nicely, so that's definitely good effect about this. It also has a compressor as well, just to kind of bring everything to an even kind of kilter there. So right now we're on the Insane. Alright, that sounds alright. You know, Line 6 Insane. Oh my god, that sounds like a horde of buzzing bees. Oh man, I am flashed back into high school, let me tell you. Alright, so that's not what we're going to do. Let's check out the Smash. What are we smashing? That's just about as bad as the Insane. Let's go to the red channel. A little more scooped and a little more punchy. It's still something I would not use. What the hell was that? Okay, that's the octave. Octatone is what it's called, and it's supposed to be an octave of whatever you're. don't even know what you would use that for. Like I would never dare to play that live or record anything that sounded like that. That's whatever. Red channel. That sounds actually pretty good. I like that. Here's the tread plate. Cool. Not something I would use, but that's what it reminded me of. Now this is the orange channel of the Line 6 tread plate, and that sounds a lot more usable. Alright, so let's use that one. Let's use that for a reference and kind of compare that to the Peavey, which is at noon right now. So what we're going to do is flip over to it really quick and try to see what it sounds like between the two. I like that. Here's the Peavey. Alright, so we definitely need more gain on this. That's at noon there too. So I'm going to take this pre-gain. The gain switch is not engaged, and there also is a thrash button here that I think kind of brings the mids back and just gives it that just thrashy Metallica tone. But let's go ahead and pump the gain up here because we're going to need that. Okay, I like that. Okay, anything that sounds fun and gives you inspiration to play riffs is great by me. So I write music, and whenever I feel that feeling of like, man, that is inspiring, and it just pumps songs out, that's the kind of amp I like, personally. All right, so let's compare them. So this is Line 6. So the Line 6 definitely does have just this like super scoop mid on the tread plate orange, and the Peavey is definitely more mid forward, maybe low mid. Now the difference is that if you turn this Peavey up, you'd probably have a much more enjoyable sound than the Line 6. And, you know, tweaking it, I can already tell that if I use the Line 6 and actually turn that up, tweaking that probably still wouldn't get as good as the Peavey here. So let's go ahead and go back to the Line 6 and choose a different cab and see if we can get a better cab sound out of that. So what we're going to do is switch back over. All right, and there's a button here on the models. If you push it in, you can actually select a different cab for it by twisting the knob and pushing it in. Radio. Whoa. Whoa, that is a lot of bass there. Oh yeah, it's definitely clipping on the channel there. Okay, not something I would use though. Whatever that is, that sounds pretty good. Let's go back to the Peavey. All right, so now the line 6 probably sounds a little bit better than the Peavey now. It kind of drowns out whenever you start trimming like that. Okay, so let's actually go back to this Peavey and try to mess with the EQ on it. Bring the mids down, highs up, lows up. Okay, that's fun. There's just some amps that just make you feel like you want to riff, you know, and the Peavey is doing it for me. Let's go back to the line 6. Let's go ahead and mess with the EQ on here. Mids. Bring the bass back. Now that sounds like a really workable tone there. All right, let's try the Peavey. Same riff. Just the Transtube thing on this, it just has more liveliness about it. And you know, line 6 they've always had this issue of just having this, I don't know what you would call it. It just doesn't have that presence in the mid, the high upper mids and stuff that really stand out. You know, when you're playing this in your bedroom, yeah, it sounds cool and all that stuff. But if you start actually playing live with something like this, that's when it just sounds like a garbled mess. It just, I mean, I think that you can get something good out of this. I really do. And that would take tweaking. But what you hear while you're in a room, like in the house, is not what's going to be whenever you are playing it live. So I would suggest actually taking this amp and putting it volumes like that, putting it through a PA and tweaking the EQ to get the best out of it. So I can't really do that right now and have a nice comparison with it that way. I have full confidence that this Peavey will keep its tone and just get wider. I guess that's the best word to describe it. Fatter, wider. I don't know. So you do that with this guy, and you can be rest assured that it'll do that for you live. This one, I think you would have to do some real tweaking. So, all right, let's go back to this Peavey. Let's go ahead and mess with this T dynamics, which is the Transtube power percentage. T dynamics. So right now we're at 10%. Still sounds good to me. 50%. It still sounds good. You know, let's actually keep going. Let's go to 75%. I mean, that sounds good. That really does sound good. You know, for a solid state amp, it really does shine. And I'd really actually like to get a RG and compare this PV to an RG. That would be a fun shootout. All right, so let's go to 100. Okay, it's just kick ass. I do have the resonance button engaged here, so let's take that out. And that would probably help out with the mix. If you're miking this cab and you're going through the PA system, I would probably disengage the resonance. Now, if you're at a stage where they don't have a good PA and you're not miking the cab or anything, I would definitely push the resonance on. All right, let's go ahead and push the gain up and see how far this can go. All the way up. And that still sounds really good. That doesn't have that just, because let's take Marshall's for example, that super fizziness where you can only get to about 5 before it just sounds like total crap going forward. From, let's just say a DSL 100. I'm not saying all Marshalls, but there's a fizziness that you can't get past a certain point and it be usable. So this going all the way up is still usable. Okay, all right, so let's actually bring it back to, let's see, 7. Something where I would keep it, you know, as you get louder, you know, it kind of adds a little more gain to everything. But let's go ahead and engage the gain button. Whoa! I got some stuff going on here. Oh yeah. Let's get back to line 6. Peavey. All right, so let's actually take the thrash button and engage it and see what it. Yeah, it's what I thought it was going to be. It was. It takes the mids and actually cuts them. So. All right, that's pretty cool. So far, I would take the Peavey over the Line 6. Now what we're going to do is we're actually going to go through the cleans and compare those two and see which one sounds better. All right, so let's go ahead and disengage the distortion here. We're over on the cleans on the Peavey. Very crisp, you know, as solid state comes. They tend to be very crispy and in your face. Sometimes it's even better than the tube amps. All right, so let's actually add a little bit of reverb. We're gonna go halfway to noon. That sounds pretty good. Let's go ahead and mess with the EQ here. Let's cut the highs, cut the mids, get some more lows. That is totally usable. I like that. All right, so let's go over to Line 6 because I know we have a lot more options on that, and we're going to actually use some of the effects on it. So on the Line 6, we're going to go over to the blackface. All right. So let's do this blackface Lux. All right, so let's go ahead and check out some of these effects. We got, go ahead and turn that up. That's a tape echo at noon. So let's go ahead and bring it up a little bit more. All right. That's cool. And this one we got an analog. So I can actually control the timing of this by using this tap button, tap tempo here. So I'll do that. Not something I would use. Let's go ahead and switch over to, what is that? I can't even read that. Let's see what it sounds like. Just another delay. All right. Sounds pretty cool. Oh, must be a wah. Whoa. All right, let's actually go back over to the Peavey and see what that sounds like. Bring up the reverb. Still, the Peavey has this just presence about it. I am definitely leaning towards the Peavey. I mean, what do you guys think? It just sounds like, to me in the room, it sounds like it's just more present, more alive. Maybe it's because of this, tube stuff, this Transtube. Let's actually cut that down and see what that sounds like with the cleans. And then play. All right, so back over to line 6. All right. So what do you guys think? Between these two, I am definitely feeling like I lean towards more the Peavey. I'm kind of surprised and I'm kind of not. This Line 6 HD47 looks so cool. And what's cool about that is back in the day, Line 6 had made a bunch of iterations for Dave Mustaine, and this is one of the iterations. And it's like, from what I read, they actually did not come to an agreement, and this amp is the outcome of their disagreement. It does have a cool backstory to it. Is it usable live? It can be, I think, if you EQ'd it and did a separate EQ live. Not something that you can carry over for when you're doing it in a room. The Peavey, I do think you can just. It's good for in the room. It's good for live. It's good for all that stuff. So I'd be a little more confident with playing this Peavey here than the Line 6. All right, so I do get so much more stuff coming, so many shootouts. So stay tuned, because I got Marshalls, I got Peaveys, I got slow modded Jet City, a Mesa, and we're gonna go through and have tons of fun. Stay tuned. DMD out.